One of the mistakes I see people make when they decide to lean into speaking is they know all the problems that their ideal audience has, and they try to solve all of them in one presentation.
Hmm.
And you can't do that. It's too much of a burden on you because it's too much to try to accomplish in a short period of time. And it's too much content for your audience to try to consume. So they either are frustrated because they're trying to keep up, or they just give up because they can't keep up and they've like, yeah, I'll just get the slides. And the relationship never happens,
Yeah.
right? That's what the goal for of a speaking opportunity is, to engage relationship.
Hey there, it's Michelle, and today Aurora is joining me. Welcome to the show, Aurora.
Michelle, thank you so much. I'm so excited we're finally doing this.
I know we've been talking about it for, I don't even want to say a year. It hasn't been a year, but almost. But
Almost.
I'm so excited we finally got this coordinated. So I know how amazingly awesome that you are. Can you tell everybody else a little bit about you, who you serve, what you do, all that good stuff?
Absolutely. And I just want everyone to note that Michelle and I did not plan this, but we decided to twin for today's interview, both wearing a little bit of red. So,
I love it.
yeah, I discovered public speaking, interestingly enough, as a 14-year-old. I was a finalist in a speech contest, and I didn't win that contest. And it's funny because even today I can still remember the thing that I did that probably cost me my win. But what I learned in that experience was the power of the person at the microphone and the power that person has to share a message, to deliver a story, and to move and capture the attention of an audience. And so now, today, I get to work with entrepreneurs, business owners, and authors and help them amplify their expertise so that they can get on stages and connect with audiences that want and need to hear from them. It's work that I love doing. I love helping people who have their own secret sauce and help them translate that into amazing experiences on stage for themselves and the people that they speak to.
I love that. I love that. So are you going to share why you didn't win that contest?
I will share it. And Michelle, you get a gold star because you are the first person that's ever asked me what did you do?
I'm like the curiosity. You dangled that. That was really good. I caught on to that, but I need to know. I need to close that loop.
So I had memorized my speech really well and I had it down cold. But every speaker has their kind of their security blanket in their note cards. And I had my note cards with me, even though I knew I didn't need them. And for some reason, at one point in my speech, I looked down and glanced at my
Mm.
note cards. And the other students who were competing didn't have their note cards with them. And it was clear they didn't need them. And I was pretty sure we were all by the time you're a semifinalist, everyone is amazing. And that one glance down probably cost me the win.
Interesting. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Oh my gosh.
Only for competition. You only need to know that for competition. If you're just speaking and you're just speaking to your audience and you need your note cards, I'm a big believer in using note cards if you need
Yeah,
them.
take them because sometimes it throws you off. I don't know about you, but at the age I'm at, sometimes my mind just goes blank, whether I'm on the stage or just sitting here by myself.
Absolutely. The
So it
squirrels come
is
and
good to know.
steal your direction. You have no idea where you're going next.
But even to your point, like I've like one thing came up to me when you were reading that. I was picturing you on the stage, whatever. So my mother got an award at for one of these industry things, and they asked me to present the award to her. So I had to write this whole thing, and I memorized it, but I had the paper. And when I looked down, is when I started to mess up. I'm like, I should have trusted my gut and gone with what I did, even if I forgot. Like the thing is, I didn't want to forget something that was super important, right? Something I
Right.
really wanted to say. So I wanted to touch base on that. But then I quickly recovered and I was just like, it's my mom, whatever.
That's right.
Nobody
And
knows what I had written down on the paper
that's
anyway,
right.
right? So, oh my God, that's so funny. Okay. So today we're talking about using stages to build relationships that convert. And I can't wait to dive in because just like anything on social or anybody that buys something to you, we first have to make the connection and then we have to build the relationship, right? And I really feel like we were just talking about like whether you're on social or on a stage, no matter what, you are basically on your stage, on your Instagram, in your stories, or wherever it is that you are going. So if you're thinking, I'm never going to speak on a stage, I shouldn't pay attention. Like, yes, you should, because this
Yes.
is all in how we talk. And actually, we think about it with what we have, it's positioning us, it's making us practice to get on an actual stage, right? If that's something that we want to do. So, can we start with kind of like the why? Like, why should entrepreneurs consider speaking as a key strategy for growing their audience and driving more sales, obviously, because we do all this to make money, right?
Absolutely. I mean, for what we're all here talking about today, this is about, building relationships that can translate into people becoming customers or buyers of our, products and services. And so the reason why I love public speaking so much is I really believe it's one of the most efficient marketing tools you could ever hope to have. You could ever hope to use. A lot of us, I'm sure, listening, love to go to in-person events. We've been to big events, smaller events, even the smallest of events. Let's say you went to like a small retreat of maybe 15, 20 people across, a long weekend. As much as you would love to say that you could spend meaningful time with every single person, it's actually not possible. If you go to a big conference, it's not possible to spend meaningful time with every single person in the room. But when you are a speaker, when you get up on that stage and you get to share your message, share your strategy, share some transformative piece of content, what you're actually doing is giving that audience a meaningful look at who you are, what you're about, what you offer, and what it's like to be with you. And you do that with all of the people in the room all at the same time. That's an efficiency play.
Yeah.
So I love public speaking just for that. And so for those of you who are just like on the fence, like, ugh, I don't know, listen, live stages may not be for everybody. And I accept that some people are just never going to be comfortable live and in person with a microphone and 200 eyeballs looking at them. But in our digital world today, there's a microphone for everyone, whether it's a podcast interview like this or it's a stage where you're doing reels every or stories or reels every day, or you are going and being a guest expert in someone's mastermind. There is a stage that makes sense that you should be using because it accelerates that know, like, and trust that people need to feel comfortable about stepping into your world, getting to know you so that you can share more of what you do and help to convert them into customers.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I know I said this before we got on that you're so eloquent. It was
Oh,
the way you explain things, you articulate things. I just love it because I couldn't even write fast enough all that you said because I couldn't agree more with there's a what did you say? There's a microphone for everyone and there's a stage that makes sense.
that's it.
So that definitely resonates from just what I hear, either for myself or what I hear other people say, because you're right, stages aren't for everyone. Everybody's like, public speaking, what? And I will tell you, even right now that we're talking and I feel super duper comfortable with you, my hands are sweating, right? It's just like that fight or flight kicks in. Okay, can you be honest with us? For you yourself or
Mhm.
people that you coach, do you ever go on and totally feel like super comfortable, like I'm not nervous at all?
Well, I think there's a difference between comfortable and the nerves. So for me, I'm comfortable, but I'm always nervous. So
Okay.
even, you and I have known each other. We've connected over a year ago. I knew that this was going to be a fun conversation, but I'm just going to hold this up. I still made notes about
Okay.
our conversation today. I still started to think like, okay, how's this going to go? And, I want to really give Michelle something great and I want it to be great for her audience. And am I going to remember all the things that like the nerves don't necessarily go away. There are some speakers I've heard that they don't get nervous anymore. That's not
Mhm.
me. But
Yeah.
I choose to believe that nerves come when we care. Like we care about delivering something great. So if you find yourself being kind of a nervous speaker, let that be evidence that your heart is in the right place. And I think that that matters. Your heart
Yeah.
needs to be in the right place. We never want to be what I call mercenary speakers. We want to be able to get on any kind of a stage, digital or live, and come with a heart of service. Like we want people to have a great experience listening to us. And if they can achieve something great with what we share in a short period of time and never come back and buy from me, hey, I'm good with that. There's going to be other people who are going to be like, gosh, that if she could do that for me, if she could solve that problem for me in 20 minutes on a stage or in a 15-minute podcast, like what could she do if I actually worked with her? Like
Right.
those people are going to come to. So the nerves, yes, I still get nervous and I still have to, manage them. I still have to use my tools and tricks to get myself like in a right place so I can settle in and give a great delivery.
I love that. And I will say this because I do agree that some like super pros, and I think I don't know if it's nervous, but they do want it to resonate. So I'm going to tell you a quick story. So I
I
was
want
at
to
an
hear it.
event
Hmm.
and Jasmine Starr, who's amazing, right?
Hmm.
We all know and love her, took the stage. Nobody in that room really knew who she was, right?
Mm.
It was mostly dudes in the room. And I'm like, oh my God, Jasmine Starr. I'm so excited. I've been waiting, wait, right? I knew she was coming. And the guys around me were like, kind of like, whatever, making faces, whatever. But then as she started talking, there were certain things that you saw them shift different in their chair. You saw them like, okay, let me take this chick serious, right? Oh, she kind of knows what oh, did it. So I DM'd her after and I said, hey, long time, fan or whatever. I was sitting in the room because also the crowd was really like, when you go to like a funnel hacking live or social media market, like the music is loud and everybody's up on the seat. Nobody stood up. Everybody was blah, right? So the energy she was receiving was also very low. So I DM'd her and I said, I just want you to know that like some of the guys started out this way, but you converted them. Like, right, you became and she's just like, no way. She actually replied back, maybe it was her, maybe it was someone else, but she was like, no way, I converted them. Like now they're like
That's
fans
awesome.
or whatever. And I was just cracking up because I'm like, here's somebody that I admire, and I think she has an excellent stage presence. She delivers it great, and still in a room where she's not getting the energy she needs to feed off of, right? She still delivered. She still converted. Maybe not everybody in the room ended up a fan, but that's okay to your
Right.
point, right? So I wondered if she was nervous or she's just like, I'm just going to do my thing and that's okay. It's
Yep.
funny. Anyway, okay. So
That's a great story though. And just let
yeah,
you know how, again, the power of the person at the microphone, right? She had this whole audience with a segment that had a certain impression of her. And just from the experience that you had with people around her, like, okay, she created a transformative experience where
yes,
she transformed their attitudes and expectations of her to something completely different. And I wouldn't be surprised if she ended up with clients out of that event.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, hey,
That
what's
were
she doing?
men who
She
dismissed
talking.
her to begin with, right?
Exactly, exactly. And yeah, she converted. Oh my God, so good, so good. Okay, I didn't mean to digress, but I thought that that was perfect for like, especially for me, like I'm always like lesson learn, or you think everybody's at this level, or everything comes easy to them, and oh, they're this person, so everybody
Right.
knows them. That's not the case, right?
Not the case.
Okay, so when we're talking about what we're getting on to present, are we coming in like from our business brand? Like, is there a difference of what we're speaking on, what we want to be known for? Should it relate back to our business? Like, how do we do that?
Yeah. So, it's anything we get up on stage to talk about obviously needs to connect to our business. That's the
Mhm.
the foundation. But when we make the decision, I guess, to add speaking and to really be, put some serious attention around speaking. What I really encourage people to do is to kind of adopt a secondary brand as a speaker. Your speaker brand now becomes important. And your speaker brand is different than your business brand. Your business brand is all about what solutions, what problems your services or products actually solve for the customer. But as a speaker, you have people for a finite period of time. And how you want to be able to brand yourself as a speaker is what is the transformative experience that I deliver to an audience? Because who you're pitching to get on these stages are people who own their own stage. It's an event planner or an event host, or it's a podcast host, or it's a mastermind host. You're pitching them and they need to know, well, what is it what is my audience going to experience by having you come and talk to them? And so it's a subtle shift, but it's so important because it establishes that you're there to help and serve that audience, not just there to come and sell them. So
Hmm.
think about like how would I brand myself as a speaker? What is the transformative experience I want an audience to have when they listen to me for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes? What do I want? How do I want them to be different at the end of that time versus what they were at the beginning of that time? And so that's the difference in the branding. It it's important that you think about that because that is what you're going to try to communicate to any type of event host that you pitch to have them invite you onto their stage.
I love that. I love that. And like, again, as you're talking, I'm thinking about different situations that I've been in where it wasn't a conference where it's what I call like a pitch fest, where it's like, run
Right.
to the back of the room and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
or pull out your phone and say, um, and when there's somebody that makes that transformation, and it may not even be a workshop, it's just like a mental shift, or oh, this person seems to be hitting on all the points that I want. Now what I do is I pull out my phone and Google them or go to their website and
Right.
then how can I get to work with them? What do I need to do? And so it's like you're basically converting them without actually pitching. And that to me seems even better because you're
Right.
really not selling. You're
Right.
right. You're
Right.
selling your knowledge or your expertise, like
Right. And
without
you're
even.
inviting people into a relationship. Like
Yes.
I have something that I know was going to help you and I'm going to share it with you right now. And
Hmm.
if it's helped you, come, I have more for you. And if
Hmm.
you've done your job well from the stage, you won't be able to offer it fast enough. They can't wait to be able to come into your world. One of my favorite moments in a presentation for any speaker, because I always pay attention to this, is at the end of their session and they've got some, join my email list, here's a lead magnet, here's something. And
Hmm.
my favorite moment is to be able to look around the audience once that QR code hits the slide, hits the screen, and I want to see how many phones go up. How many phones are picked up? Because that for a speaker lets them know, okay, you nailed it. Like
Right.
you resonated with these people. If there are a lot of phones up, you did your job. If there
Hmm.
aren't a lot of phones up, something went wrong. It may not be your delivery. It may be that this was not the right room or, something didn't connect. But
Hmm.
when all of those phones go up, that's just the best. That's the part that's that marker that is that lets you know, okay, these people had a great experience and they're ready to come in and get to know me more.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so this is something that I actually been thinking about on my own, and that is like, how do I decide? Because I don't know if it's a lack of or indecision or lack of clarity. I feel like it's more clarity
Mhm.
of what I want to be known for, right? Like even just me personally, everybody I know has something different. It's like I know how to do a lot of things, or I do a lot of things,
Mhm.
but I want to be known for one thing. So, what is your advice, um, for people like me, where we need to like either get clarity or clarify the messaging so we can get booked, right? To be speaking on stages, or how do we even pitch ourselves, if you will, with this, what we want to be known for?
Sure. And it kind of trends like it's the like the next pull in the thread of like branding yourself as a speaker. You then have to kind of decide like, okay, so what's my unique my USP, my unique selling proposition as a speaker? And
Mhm.
how I really encourage people to take a look at this and kind of examine what they know and how they can translate it into something unique is to go back and do what you did when you started your business, which is who's my audience? And take a fresh look at who your audience is and what are the problems and challenges that they have. Just dive deep into that. Again, dive deep. And then examine what that list looks like and think about the things that you can offer that can solve one of their problems, just one problem from the stage in a 20 to 25-minute presentation. So what that's going to force you to do is really narrow and dissect some of their challenges. They can't be really broad descriptions. They've got to be, singular key problems, things that nag at them every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And what tools, solutions, strategies, frameworks, what do you have that can solve that problem that you can share, teach, explain, inspire in a 20 to 25-minute presentation? So that at the end of that presentation, that person who has been struggling for years with the same problem says, "Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I can do that and I won't have to deal with this nagging issue anymore."
Mm-hmm.
That's how you want to differentiate yourself so that you are known as someone who solves problems for audiences, right?
I
And
love
yeah, so it's super important. Narrow it down because one of the mistakes I see people make when they decide to lean into speaking is they know all the problems that that their ideal audience has, and they try to solve all of them in one presentation.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that. It's too much of a burden on you because it's too much to try to accomplish in a short period of time. And it's too much content for your audience to try to consume. So they either are frustrated because they're trying to keep up, or they just give up because they can't keep up and they've like, yeah, I'll just get the slides. And the relationship never happens,
Yeah.
right? That's what the goal of a speaking opportunity is, to engage relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
be ruthless in narrowing down what are their problems and what can you solve. And when you do that, you set yourself up for success.
I love that. That definitely helps give clarity. And then even to your point there, like sometimes we think like it has to be super complicated so we seem different, right? Because honestly, I've been at things and I'm like, I could have totally done that. Like, how come they're on stage and I am not, right? Because it's like it seems so simple. And also, let's just be real. No matter what industry you're in, nobody invented how to
There's
market something, how to do something. Like it's all being done so many times. It's
nothing
like
new under the sun.
exactly, but it's your unique spin on it, right?
Right.
So when you hit that point, so even if you're like, oh, that's too basic, I need to go deeper. Do you suggest like not being too complex because then you're just going to be over your
Absolutely.
head?
Absolutely, because you know, this is that place, and sometimes you need a sounding board. Like sometimes you need, you need a coach, you need a good business pal, you need somebody to listen and be real and honest with you. Like, okay, is this too complicated? It's like, yeah, that's too much. You've got to strike that balance between, giving them what they need to solve the problem and being what I call too granular. You
Mm,
can't give them all of the fine, sandy pieces that you know how to do because they're not you. They need to be able to take what you offer them and make it work for them.
mhm.
So you really focus on simplicity and complexity, and then remember that what's easy or simple to you is magic to someone else.
Right.
So while it may feel like, okay, I'm going to go give this presentation, but this feels like nothing. Well, you're going to get on that stage, and for people who don't know how to do that thing, they're going to be like,
Right. Mind
"What?"
blown. Exactly.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so can we just go a little bit deeper into that? So like if we were to or let me try to figure out what I'm trying to say here. So like let's just say we decide on whatever the solution we're going to offer and it's this amount of time. And
Hmm.
then the speaker says you're going to or I'm sorry, the company that's going to promote you, the event company.
Hmm.
And then they're like, okay, this is like an intermediate or this is an advanced group. Then do
Right.
you suggest that we do go a little bit more complex? Like, do you have like do we tweak the presentation? Like, I know this is granular question that I'm asking. I just feel like caught myself, but I'm curious because I'm like, if we have like this regular thing that we're talking about, then like we would customize that
Oh,
question.
sure. I mean,
Okay.
once you land a speaking opportunity, like I said, whether it's a live stage or you're going to be a guest expert in someone's mastermind, um, it's important to ask the host, like, okay, who's in the room? What are their businesses? How much experience do they have with speaking? I was a guest expert in a mastermind a couple of weeks ago, and all of the people in the room were they were in varying degrees of their expertise, but they were speakers and they wanted to do more speaking. So my presentation to them was a little bit different. There were a lot of things that I didn't have to simplify or explain. There were a lot of things that I could assume that they already knew. And
Mhm.
now I could give them, kind of a higher level presentation. I didn't have to use my time to level set. I already knew what they knew. So those are questions that you ask once you get booked. And that's a whole different podcast. But once
Right.
you get booked, those are
Then,
kinds of
okay,
questions that you want to
I
ask.
didn't
And
mean to
then
jump ahead.
then you want to tailor based on what you know about the audience. But
No, but that's really great to know because yeah, it's really great to know that because I like for me that's like okay, I want everything to be just so. And it's also your level of knowledge. So even in like your conversation part and like you said, you know who you're speaking to, you know they already know that, then you can even be more comfortable. Because what I find with a lot of people, I forgot who I was just talking to. It was like they were speaking in the lingo, right? I'm
right,
like, slow down that lingo because these
right.
people don't know what that means. Like you
That's
know what
right.
that means, and that's why you're not getting the sales or even
That's right.
leads because you're talking about this and kind of like that sell them what they want, not what they need type of thing. But it's like, yes, this all sounds great, but what does that really mean? And so they're spending the whole time instead of listening and getting that transformation, trying to figure out what the heck this what you're talking about or what that really means and does that apply? And then you kind of lose them altogether, right?
Right. That's exactly right. That's
So,
exactly right.
what kind of common mistakes do you see entrepreneurs make when pitching themselves?
Well, first, relying on their business brand and not thinking through what does that mean for an audience that I want to speak to, not an audience that I'm going to be selling to through my sales funnel or my webinar or,
Mhm.
whatever. These are distinct environments. And so I see them make that mistake. They're not thinking that through. So it doesn't come through in their pitch. The other the mistake that I see that just speakers in general, not just entrepreneurs make, but speakers in general, when they're just starting out, they make their pitches about them, about their qualifications, about their expertise, it's all about them. And what an event host, a podcast host, a mastermind leader, what they want to know when they invite people into their room is, are you there to serve my people?
Mhm.
So when you pitch, you've got to make the pitch about the people, not about you. Your bio is all about, what a great expert you are and all the things that you've accomplished. But in the actual pitch where you're sharing what you can do for that audience, it's got to be about them. You got to talk about their problem. You got to talk about how it hinders their success or their progress. And you got to tell them, but there's a solution. And this solution is going to give them this transformation. Make it less about you and more about them. And that is that kind of, indirect signaling to that host that this person gets my people, wants to help me give them a great experience, and is ready to link arms with me and present something great.
Mhm.
That's what you want to be able to do. That's the message you want to communicate to that host, that I'm here to help you give your audience a great experience. I'm going to get something out of it, but the first order of business is it's got to be about that audience. And so let me help you do something great for your audience.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, so we're going to avoid those mistakes for sure. Because I do see people do that. Well, you should just like hire me or get me on the stage just because I know what
Just
I'm
because, like, I'm awesome.
exactly. Like, I think I'm awesome. You should know
Right,
that I'm awesome, right?
right.
Are there any other last tips or anything that you want to share with us? And when
Yes.
it comes to
So,
touring?
yeah, so a couple things. So, be very focused on serving from the stage. as you put materials together, as you take invitations, even as you put together your own social media content and you're doing, Instagram lives or reels or stories, like how am I serving these people? Your expertise comes through. You don't have to worry about people not thinking that you're smart. They're going to already know that you're smart.
Hmm.
What is it that's, what is it that people say that people remember how you made them feel?
Right.
You want to be able to translate that into the work that you do as a speaker. And I just want to just offer this encouragement. That takes some time to cultivate. As speakers, the first time you do any kind of speaking opportunity, I don't care if it's a podcast interview or a live stage, the first few times you do it, it's hard. You might even suck, but you can't get better if you don't keep doing it. So get
Right.
the sucky stuff out of the way and keep going so that you can improve and get better at all of those things. And then the other thing is that I want to just encourage people like have things that make it easy for people who have stages to connect with you. At the minimum, have a speaker one sheet. It is exactly what it sounds like. It's a one sheet, one page PDF of who you are, what you can talk about, and where they can find you. I have a checklist that I've put together. I'd love to share that with your audience.
Yeah.
And it's all about how to put together a great one sheet. So, Michelle, I don't know if you're going to put that in show notes or
Yes.
whatever, but there'll be a link for that. Grab that, take a look at it, put something together for yourself so that when someone says, gosh, you sound amazing. Like, would you like to come and, would you be willing to come and talk to my mastermind? You
Hmm.
can say, absolutely. Let me send you my one sheet. I've got some topics on there. Let me know which one sounds, would sound interesting to your group. You immediately elevate yourself as someone who's like got it together. They understand who they are as a speaker. They're professional. They've got it ready to go. And every host loves to feel good about that. Like,
Hmm.
okay, this person, I don't have to worry about this person. They can come in and they know what they're doing. So those would be like those final tips. Like lean into, if you're going to be a speaker, own the word and become a speaker.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh my gosh, this was so good. And I almost want a part two. Like,
Absolutely. Let's
or
do
maybe
it.
even work with you and getting to like what are those next steps? Because like all these questions come to my mind, like, when do we do get paid? When do we do it for free? What are we, when do we ask if we can pitch or not? Like, so many questions. Part two.
All good ones, right? They're all good questions because you never want to be, you never want to go in and commit the faux pas, like look like you don't want to look like the rookie.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to, or how they say like my worth, and then like even like there's so many things come to mind for part two. I should probably keep my notes because I know like there's been times where I've had friends have an in-person event and they're like, well, we don't have the budget to pay for speakers, but I know some of my friends, right,
Hmm.
that want to be speakers and they want this practice and
Right.
obviously that they're know what they're talking about or doing or what have you. And then those are different ways like to pull people in. So okay, for sure part two is coming. Okay.
Awesome. I'm excited already. We have to plan our wardrobe, Michelle.
Yes, yes. Plan what color we're gonna wear next. Okay, so before we go, it's time for Michelle's hot minute. Okay, so I'm
Hot
just gonna
minute.
ask
Let's
you
go.
a few rapid fire questions. So just answer first thing that comes to mind. You
Okay, I'm
ready?
excited. Go ahead.
Okay, football or baseball?
Baseball. I am so excited for baseball season to start.
What is your favorite team?
Oh, Dodger fan. I was born a Dodger fan.
They're blue, right? Blue and white.
They are blue and white.
So you bleed blue. Okay.
I bleed blue.
What has taken you the longest to get good at?
Oh, wow. Probably selling.
Hmm.
Like I still feel like that's like I'm a great speaker, but that transition to selling, like that's something I work with my coach about and trying to, I think it's really a mindset shift, but it's taken me a while to get that shift to stick when it
Yes.
comes to selling. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting because just in my opinion, I do buy most things. Okay. I will put that caveat out there. However, when I hear somebody speak and they speak well, it's like you've already sold me. It's like and I feel like you probably have your speeches or your presentations made in a specific way that's going to make me realize that I need your thing. And I'm going to love the way you present yourself, then I'm like, oh, she's totally going to help me. Okay. So if that helps you any, go for
Thank
it.
you.
Get
Well,
over the
you
mindset thing.
you boosted my confidence. So thank you so much.
Okay. What is your guilty pleasure?
Oh my gosh, my guilty pleasure. Um, Honestly, it's binging true crime shows. I love finding a good Netflix true crime mini series and just laying on the sofa on a Saturday and watching 7 episodes in a
Oh
row.
my God. This is why we get along so well. Okay. What is your favorite way to distress?
Oh, probably a long walk. Like I love being able to go outside. It just, when you feel pressure and pressure feels like it's pressing down on you, being outside feels like, oh, the space is so wide and open. It's like, oh, okay, I can breathe and I can release it. So probably a long
Ooh.
walk. Yeah,
Deep dish or New York style pizza?
New York style.
Oh my God, so
Don't
good.
tell my husband. He's from Chicago.
Oh,
It's
I
deep
know.
there, but
My daughter moved there, and I'm like, what is that? Why is everybody even talking about this deep dish? It's horrible. I'm totally New York style. Like, we're never going there again.
I think you and I could now go on vacation. Like, as the more we
Totally.
learn about each other, we can go on vacation, Michelle.
Okay, and then what tells you most about a person?
Oh, definitely how I see them treat other people.
Hmm,
Yeah.
I love it.
I think one of the greatest attributes that you could find in a person and that that I have deep appreciation for is kindness.
Hmm.
And when I see people treat other people kindly, and really making an effort to be kind to others, it really resonates with me. So yeah, definitely kindness.
So, so good. This was so much fun. I
I
appreciate
loved
you
it.
so much, Aurora, for coming on the show today.
It was so fun, totally worth the wait. I can't wait for part two. We're gonna have a
Right?
ball.
Oh my God, so good. Okay, tell people where they can find you.
Yep, I would love for you to come check me out on Instagram. Michelle will have the links for that. And then come grab that checklist at Aurora Gregory. Oh no, I'm sorry, getpicktospeak.com/checklist. Come get that because I want you to see what goes into a one sheet and I want you to make one for yourself. Like make that a goal. If you even remotely think you might want to do some speaking, be a podcast guest, any of that, get a one sheet together. It's going to boost your confidence because you're going to see really quickly, like, huh, look at the things I can talk about. Look how good I look on paper. Yes, I do belong as a guest on someone's show or as
That's
a
right.
someone as on live on someone's stage. So go ahead and grab those. And then I'll see you on Instagram.
That's right. Okay. Thank you again so much. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
All right, so there you have it. Using stages to build relationships that convert with Aurora Gregory. Definitely go check her out. I will drop everything in the show notes. I hope you enjoyed the show. Until next time, let's grow your business together.